Okay, y'all, so today I'm going to be talking about The Martian by Ridley Scott, starring Matt Damon. Alright, so we all know the basic gist of the movie, I'm guessing. Basically, it's like Castaway, a man gets stranded on Mars, and it's him trying to survive until they can come back and rescue him. So, what did the movie not do well? Alright, so I really only have two things that I think the movie either didn't do well or could have done better with. First thing being, it just kind of starts off in the middle. It starts off right in the middle of what's going on. They don't give you any introduction to show you how they got to where they are. And the second thing is I think they could have done a better job explaining, like, what is it like to be on Mars? What's the air like? What's the gravity like? Is the gravity similar to Earth? How cold does it get? How hot? What kind of storms do they have? They didn't really explain any of these things. So, that being put aside, the movie was awesome. It was just, like, crazy. The visuals that they had, all the different shots that they took, visually, it looked great. Then you have the performance by Matt Damon, which was just mind-boggling. It was amazing what he was able to do. He just fell into the character perfectly. Even when things are getting at their worst, he's always being positive. He's always optimistic. He's always cracking jokes. And, the humor in this movie was absolutely great. All the humor, none of it fell flat, in my opinion. It all worked great for the movie, and it really worked. You really enjoyed yourself. I was laughing so many times throughout this movie. I loved it. But the movie didn't just have, humor in it. It also had really heartfelt emotional scenes when you feel really genuinely bad for the guy. He's just starting to get really depressed and everything. He's losing hope, and you're losing hope with him. And then when just gets really intense and everything, those really intense sequences, you're on the edge of your seat. Everything was done extremely, extremely well. Okay, so in terms of being a good movie, just based on merit, like how well was the movie made, I would say 4 3/4 out of 5 stars. It was just absolutely great. Now, the values of this movie were basically just survival and never giving up hope. There were times in this movie where he was starting to lose hope, and basically his thought process was, solve one problem at a time. Just keep on solving the next problem, and the next problem, and the next problem, until eventually you solve enough problems, you'll get yourself out alive. So in terms of values, I think the movie was very good. Now, let's talk about, in terms of what are some things to watch out for in this movie. Okay, now this movie did have a pretty good amount of language. I think the F-bomb was dropped 1 or 2 times. They did swear a fairly good amount through the movie, so you might want to watch out for that. There is one scene of rear nudity that, just kind of took me by surprise. Fortunately, it only lasts for a few seconds, and then you're good. So it's, overall, I would say the biggest thing to look out for is the language, and of course, that one scene. So I wouldn't say it's appropriate for younger audiences. The movie could have been longer. It could have been about even 3.5 hours. I would have sat there and watched the entire thing. But, it's only 2.5 hours. Like I said earlier, there were some things that I think they could have done better, especially at the beginning. But overall, it's a very good movie. So if you're in your teens or older, I would highly recommend this movie because it is just a really good time. It's a very enthralling story, and I think you will really, really enjoy it. Okay, so what did you guys think of this movie? Have you seen it? If you did see it, did you like it? Did you not like it? I would love to see you guys' comments in the comment section below. Thanks.